to Command Combat Battle Reports, where we are doing Saga with the Vikings versus the Normans. Yes, this is what this game was invented for, Viking invasions. And speaking of invasions, we are doing a scenario rather than a regular meeting engagement. In this scenario, the Vikings are trying to get back to their ships with their plundered goods. But the Normans are none too happy with them plundering all their lands, and they are waiting by those ships to stop the Vikings from leaving. Let's see who comes out victorious. But first, let's meet the forces. Here we can see all the Vikings. I believe that's 2 units of standard infantry, a unit of Hearthguard, and a unit of Berserkers. Because what would Vikings be without their Berserkers? And of course they have their commander. And here are their supply carts. They will be trying to get them to their ships. And here are the Normans. They have 2 units of spearmen, a unit of cavalry, a unit of bowmen in the front, and crossbowmen in the rear. I once had a crossbowman in my rear. It was not a pleasant experience. And of course their commander at the front. And here are the Vikings moving out of the wilderness toward the shore. The Normans are set up, and it looks like their cavalry was actually 2 units of Hearthguard rather than 1 standard unit. That is going to make them quite formidable. And their spearmen really look like they do not want the Vikings to get to their ships.
Today I'm running Vikings, led by Ragnar Lothbrok of the show Vikings fame. And the scenario is for the Vikings to escort the loot that they have just acquired in a Norman village back to their ships to head back to their homes. And my basic idea, my plan, is to send out all of my troops around the wagons and just try to bleed the enemy, block them up, sacrifice all of the units, because all that matters is getting the wagons off. If I get the wagons off, I win. So my attempt is to just bleed them as much as possible, try to bust through, and using some of Ragnar's special abilities to hopefully make that happen.
Right now, today I'm going to be playing Normans versus the Saxons. Pretty much my infantry and my cavalry are balanced. I'm supposed to be trying to avoid the Vikings from loading their carts onto their ships and getting away.
Alright, let's go to the field to see how things go. The Viking forces are moving forward. They've got their 3 carts here, and Ragnar used his special ability, which allows him to reduce his dice pool by half, but then all of his forces move, so they all move forward, and he uses 3 like that. So the Normans have crowded in a little bit. You can see them starting to push in on the various carts, pulling away from the boats.
Cowardly Normans.
Those cowardly Normans.
They're afraid of advancing.
So cowardly, they're coming slowly in on their enemy. Alright, the Vikings continue to move forward. Ragnar used his ability to move everybody and used an ability to get rid of fatigue, ran these guys up and used Valhalla to send a couple of female warriors to the afterlife to charge up to these, the Hearthguard, slaughtered two of them, got a huge number of dice, but only took a couple of them down. But they also took a couple of them down, so they pushed the dames back, and they're all fatigued. Normans are firing all along the line there and doing quite a bit of damage. They took out a couple of the archers over here, and over here the warriors came in and knocked out the female warriors, so they're all gone, including Olga there. So when they say it ain't over till the fat lady sings, I guess that means it's over. The Vikings continue to move forward, and the big movement was right up here where the barbarians, or is that what they're called? They're
Berserkers.
Berserkers came charging at that unit. You'll notice there's nothing there. There's this old woman, though, who's watching and just tisking at the whole thing, that just because it's all that death and dismemberment. They basically serve the way I always see Berserkers, as basically a running bomb, ran up, blew themselves up along with the enemy. And these guys were appalled. Actually, everybody around there was appalled because they all took a fatigue, because there was just so much death. You can see all the dead bodies there. Sure, right. Coming mid-turn, the archers just fired. I had to show this. They shot at the Hearthguard unit. They needed 6s. Out of 6 dice, 4 6s. Took down one of the Hearthguard. Into the Norman turn, you pretty much saw the really exciting thing over here. These archers fired over here. They, even though they got a really dramatic hit, they saved a lot, and only one Hearthguard was actually taken down. These archers shot over here at this little, the crossbowman. Yep, at the little old lady, but she just got too much of an iron gut to take her or that thing down, or the wagon down. There we go. And these this flank over here is sort of folding in around over here. Alright, coming mid-turn, these archers shot over here, took out a couple of archers, and now they are being charged at by the wagon and the old witch who is nagging them. The Hearthguard over here charged at these archers here, took out quite a few of them, and they are making their move in every direction, including Ragnar, who has gone in close enough that the other leader is now going to have to charge him if he moves next turn. And the result of this little combat is that the war wagon got pushed back, but at least not destroyed, and they did actually manage to kill one of the archers, but they took a little damage, but they were not destroyed. Alright, so the Hearthguard here came in, charged the wagon. The wagon held them off, but I really still think it's Broomhilda over here. Or no, this is a different person. Helga, I guess, is who she is. Over here, the archers weren't able to do... What?
Violet.
Violet, yes, that's actually a good name for it. I mean, doesn't she look like a violet, and her little pooch spot as well. Over here, their cavalry charged and pushed back the warriors here. The warriors hit back at them and took out 2 of the cavalry, and that's Hearthguard cavalry, so that was a really big loss over here. At the end, we were determining this is a pity, because actually if the leader here had gone after, because he is committed now, he would have to charge. If he moved at all, he'd have to charge at the opponent's leader. Would have been a cool thing to see, but it hadn't been noticed at the time. So they are staring one another down. We have yet to see who is going to win this thing. Will the Vikings manage to get their carts onto their boats, or will they be stopped before they can make it? And the Vikings are pushing forward here. I'm even losing track of everything that's going on. Let's see if I can remember. Okay, the Hearthguard right here smashed into the archers, and they slid over to the side there, the survivors. Actually, they didn't kill that many, but they are making them slide, opening the door up into the boat so that the two crates there, or the two wagons there, are getting over to the boats. This one, the one run by Violet, is distracting them over on this direction, and she just smashed into them, but they pushed her back. Over here, the infantry against the Hearthguard there, this was nasty, as along with Ragnar. Ragnar is really living up to his reputation. Went up there, slaughtered them, and this was their saving throws. It was just, I think it was their attack back. No, saving throws. So no more horsies. They were
gone. They said, nah.
Just slaughtered. So, all right, continuing on. Alright, so the Normans tried one last time to stop these carts. The Hearthguard cavalry charged into this one and bounced off of it. These are really tough carts. Meanwhile, this infantry, along with their leader, came rushing in, and the two warlords fought a mighty battle, but unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever side you're on, Ragnar pushed him back and managed to kill one of his warriors, all on his own. Our fearless leader, Ragnar of the Vikings. Alright, so the Vikings have landed on their boats, have gotten their supplies on there, and so they're about to be taking off there, singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat, as you were just hearing there. Alright, so that ends in a Viking victory. They have managed to get all their on there, and Violet is continuing her distraction.
Well, unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. I kept on hitting their wagons, I kept on saving their wagons. Towards the end, they were able to load 2 of their wagons, and yes, I still had a lot of men on the board, but I didn't block them, so we're done.
Well, plan kind of worked. Generally, most of the things I tried doing that I wanted to have work didn't work the way they were supposed to, but I succeeded in causing enough damage, enough distraction, pushing his troops out of the middle that I was able to get the wagons there, and by the skin of their teeth, they were able to get on the boats, load on, and head home for a narrow victory.
So that'll be it for this particular episode. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Keep watching our other videos, and happy gaming, everybody.